The Mediterranean Sea, the sun, good food. What's not to love in our beautiful country of Israel? I have the answer for you, and it's money.
As a young couple, my girlfriend and I don't have any way to move forward financially.
We have 4 kids, the 5th on the way, and we are nowhere close to buying an apartment. It's very, very hard for us as a young couple. The prices are through the roof. Mortgages have very difficult conditions.
You have to think of how much every little purchase costs. Beer, chips, and you have to weigh those decisions every day.
It's really a catastrophe. Vraiment.
Israel's rising costs of living, added with high taxes and the stress of living in a security hotspot, is pushing many Israelis to reevaluate their lifestyle and relocate abroad. Where do you ask? Well, the answer is not as far as you might think. Portugal. The beautiful Mediterranean nation, nestled on the east coast of the Iberian Peninsula, offers a high quality of life for a fraction of the price. On average, the cost of living in Portugal is 48% lower than in Israel. In the country's capital, Lisbon, rentals start at about $650 a month. In smaller coastal cities like Porto, you can snag a rental for as low as $375 a month. And a small but steady community of Israelis in the thousands is starting to form there. People who want to experience a calmer way of life with more opportunities. Like Vital and Omer, who fell in love with the country and decided to relocate to Porto in 2018. Today, they're raising a child here while running their own real estate development and consulting firm, accompanying investors through their bureaucratic and financial process of purchasing property in Portugal. Among other creative development projects, they're also the creators of the blog Vital and Omer Living in Portugal, where they offer tips and advice to Israeli expats. So, 4 years on, are they still happy with their decision?
Yes.
Definitely yes.
Definitely yes.
You have way more opportunities. You have way more possibilities to create, to make a living. I have friends in Israel in the same status as we, more or less, and I do feel the gap.
Now, living in Portugal as an expat has its own challenges.
Let's say that Portugal is not a place that as a foreigner you're going to come here and you're going to be like, you're going to get 20 job offers. It's more a place to create your own business, to be an entrepreneur. You also have the Portuguese language. It's not English. It's also another thing that you need to learn. And basically you need to work hard and to make it happen.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Another Mediterranean country like Italy or Greece, where people talk loudly, enjoy slow living under the sun, in an overly indebted economy in need of severe reform. Or so the cliche goes, am I right? Well, think again. Portugal currently holds a total GDP of $249 billion and a GDP per capita just a little over $24,260. Now, that's significantly less than the United States or even Israel, but its economy continues to steadily grow thanks to its tourism industry and recent monetary reforms. Since 2014, Portugal's economy has grown on average 3 times faster than Greece, consolidating its position as one of the fastest developing nations in Europe. Now, part of that growth is Portugal's attractive real estate market that's quickly catching the eye of expats from around the world, and of course, Israelis. Recent figures from the National Statistics Institute show the average house price in Portugal at just a little under €1,200 a square meter. That's nearly half the price of housing in the UK or France. There's another incentive specifically for Israelis to invest in Portugal. In 2015, the Portuguese government passed a law enabling Jews of Sephardic descent to gain citizenship. The law applies to Jews of Portuguese Sephardi origin whose roots can be traced back to the communities exiled to North Africa and the Ottoman Empire. And since then, the gates have flung open, driving thousands of Jews around the world and Israelis to get their hands on that passport.
Approximately 80,000 Sephardic descendants applied to the Portuguese government in a matter to get their passport. Our company helped more than 30,000 of them to apply it and overcome all the bureaucracy with the Portuguese government. government.
Shmuel Lutzman is the VP of Sales at Portugalis, a firm that assists Israelis through the bureaucratic process of applying for Portuguese citizenship. They've now expanded to real estate, helping Israelis purchase property, to live there, or just to invest.
We can see in Portugal in the last 3 years, the prices went up like almost 30%. And it's going up and up because there is a lot of demand. The Portuguese government did a lot of action to attract a lot of investors to Portugal. And now we can see that our customers, which are buying apartments, they are enjoying from yield.
Like this couple, Ophir and Lilia, who decided to take the leap a year ago.
So we decided to buy in Portugal property because Israel is one of the most expensive countries in the world.
We bought our apartment 1 year ago and it's already making a profit. And we know that the value of the apartment has gone up in 20%.
Now, moving or even purchasing a property for investment in Portugal is not for the faint-hearted. Aside from the language barrier, there are potential legal and structural pitfalls for buyers, such as illegal buildings or potential frauds. But the risk Israelis are willing to take for a better life points to a bigger issue back home here in Israel: the widening gap between the rich and the poor.
It is getting slimmer and slimmer, and sadly, in the short term, we're not going to see any significant change. The cost of living recently has been alarmingly high. We've had almost 18% in the recent month versus the previous year. Obviously, we live in a small country, but also people want to live in those those densely populated areas. They want to live close to their families. There's not really an incentive right now to move to those areas that we could have jobs. If industry would move to those lesser populated areas, you need significant infrastructure around them. You need roads, you need schools, you need commercial centers. So at the moment, those areas are simply not desirable places to live, and you won't see a lot of people in the middle class moving to those areas.
According to a recent survey published by the Israel Democracy Institute, 44% of respondents say the main factor influencing their decision when voting in this next election is a given party's economic platform and its plan to address the rising cost of living. It's going to take a long time to implement economic reforms here in Israel, leaving the middle class just two options: sink or swim. So, could we be looking at a mass economic exodus from Israel to other shores?